I have found out that I have ADHD. I've always dismissed it as, like everyone has ADHD. It's just an excuse not to do your work or just being lazy or drifting off, daydreaming. But yeah, it turns out it's a real diagnosis, and I have it. And so I started watching. I went down this rabbit hole. I think it started with Andrew Huberman's podcast about ADHD. I finally sat down and watched. I think I saw a clip, and then I finally sat down and started watching the whole podcast. And then from there, I went down the rabbit hole of watching a bunch of other videos. And turns out, yeah, all the symptoms that people were describing, they seem to line up with what I was experiencing. And so after going through that whole rabbit hole, after watching all those videos, I realized I probably have ADHD, and I think that's it. It totally explains why I have been struggling the way I have been, all the way back to I think the serious struggles were around high school. And so I finally got diagnosed, and yeah, so I was prescribed Adderall, and I am going to try it for the first time right now. Right now it's, what time is it? 10:30. I was trying to do this earlier, but I guess that's what ADHD does to you. But they start out with giving you the lowest dosage, 5 milligrams. So I'm just going to take one for now at 10:30. This is the short release. I wanted the extended release. I wanted the long one because I heard the short release, the normal release one, there's a pretty hard crash after 4 hours or so. And so I wanted the extended release so I can, work all day and not feel that sudden crash. But what my provider told me was that a lot of times insurance, they won't insure the extended release until you try the regular one first. So here I am with the regular one, 5 milligram. I am nervous about this. After reading, I don't read. Let's be real. I don't read. I find it difficult to read. But anyway, after watching people's experience pre and post treatment, post Adderall or medication, it's a pretty significant change. And what a lot of people say is that all the thoughts in their head that are just kind of there, and that's what really distracts you, is your mind is just constantly going. And so what people describe with pre versus post taking Adderall or whatever medicine, that all those thoughts just quiet down and you're able to focus on what you're doing at the time. And that's how you can get work done. And so I'm quite nervous about this. I've also heard people talk about a period of mourning for people, especially for people who get diagnosed late. So I'm in my 40s and I just realized I had this. And so I'm probably expecting some sort of relief. Also at the same time, feeling a little bit of mourning or sadness that I didn't discover this sooner. So yeah, let's see how this goes. All right, so it's been 1 hour since I took the 5 milligram. Do I feel any different? No, but yes. I think I heard it takes anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes before the effects start to kick in. And so I don't know if it's just me trying to look for any difference in the way I feel, in the way I'm trying to concentrate. But for the first hour, I don't know if it's any different. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the placebo effect or just the excitement of trying this, hoping to get what I need out of this. So I don't know if it's that or the actual effects of the Adderall. Yeah, I don't know if I feel any different yet, perhaps, but maybe it's just starting. So we'll see. Okay, this is the 2-hour update. I usually drink coffee in the morning. I don't drink that much, but I do notice if I don't drink coffee, sometimes I get a mild headache. And I think generally speaking, I'm not very I don't get really addicted to stuff like caffeine, coffee. If I don't drink it, then I'll get a mild headache and then I could just stop drinking altogether. so it's not too big of an issue. I did go to the ER for something a while back, and they gave me Percocet. That, I definitely feel the effects. I definitely felt happier. I definitely didn't feel the pain as much anymore. Also, I took Percocet when I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I definitely felt great on it, and it numbed the pain, but I had no problem just stopping altogether. So I think generally speaking, I don't get really addicted to stuff. I guess the only thing I could think of was back in college. I had trouble transitioning to college. With all that freedom, I just played Gran Turismo. I played video games pretty much nonstop for a while. That kind of led me to not getting my work done. But I think that was also a symptom of ADHD in hindsight. But hour two, I think I'm starting to feel the effects of it. I think it's starting to get more quieter. I do feel maybe something around the ears, like nothing painful, but it just like almost like is if I have earplugs in, but you know how if you put in earplugs or like sound isolating earphones in, it just, you don't hear the ambient noise as much. Then if you have like other open ear headphones, or like the original AirPods where it wasn't like sound isolating, you can still hear the environment with whatever music or whatever you're listening to. So it kind of feels like it's open eared headphones, but I do feel somewhat isolated, like if it's closed eared headphones. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. So what I did before to kind of help with my ADHD, for example, just watching a movie or watching TV or even just watching YouTube, trying to learn something, it was difficult for me to just sit there and just pay solely attention to that. My mind would start wandering and I'd get a little mind fidgety. I don't really fidget physically. I don't need like a fidget toy or anything, but what I would do is I'd play this numbers game. Number match, and basically match numbers to equal 10. It's just a little game that would kind of keep, I guess, my mind occupied enough so where I can focus on what I'm listening to, whether it's the movie or TV or YouTube. And so that would occupy my brain enough where it wouldn't just wander. Same with music. Sometimes if I listen to music, I can get more editing done, or podcasting. I could get more editing done with photos, but obviously with video editing, and this is kind of why I've been struggling to upload, is the editing portion. When you're editing video, you have to listen to the video. You can't just listen to a podcast while you're editing video. So that was a huge struggle. I'm hoping to say that was a huge struggle going forward with being treated for this. So yeah, I think it's starting to take effect after 2 hours. And I was just kind of testing out what I normally did. For the last hour, I've been just kind of testing out what I normally do. I think what I'm experiencing is almost like what people normally think of ADHD in terms of being inattentive. I think it's starting to feel more isolated in terms of what I can do. For example, I'd normally be able to watch a video while doing something with my hand. For example, like getting this AirTag speaker out, just trying to remove that while I'm listening to something. And I'm noticing a little bit of like, it's harder to do that dual focus now. And so if I'm watching something and then it's almost like as if I forget what else I'm doing. So I think that's part of the quieting down all the thoughts in your brain and being able to focus on one thing. So I think it is starting to take effect. So for this next, it's already 12:48. One thing I heard was that you tend to not feel hungry. I normally eat a giant bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, and that usually lasts me a good while. And I tend to eat a later lunch. It's 12:50 right now. It's the second hour. I don't feel hungry. I wonder, I didn't eat as big of a bowl either. And also there's things you're not supposed to eat with Adderall. And that's a lot of acidic food, that's caffeine. And so I didn't put craisins. I normally eat very simple oatmeal and craisins. I didn't put the craisins in because that's acidic. So anyway, I usually around this time I go down and make lunch for me and my wife, but I don't feel hungry. And so I think I might have to go do that soon. But what I wanted to do for the next hour or so was basically start doing my taxes. Well, I already started, but finish my taxes. That's what I wanted to get done today. Let's see if I can focus on that. All right, that's hour 2 update. We'll see you in the next hour. Okay, hour 3 update. It's been 3 hours and 11 minutes. Quick update. For the last hour, I've been working on my taxes, and I will say it was quite good. I do feel I do feel the effects of this. I was able to. I was just listening to some piano music, some Chopin on repeat, and I was just working on spreadsheets for taxes. It was quite productive. What I did notice was before, when I work on taxes, I have to get into the mood to do it. And then once I get into the mood, which was very difficult to get to, I'm like laser focused. Like my mind is racing. It's almost like my heart is pumping. Well, it's pumping obviously, but it's like I was very intense about it, intense focus, working on the spreadsheets. That's just the way I am. But this time it wasn't so intense, but I was able to focus and just do it. I think what I noticed this time also was before I would, work on it, but then like other thoughts would come into mind and I would just get distracted, check my phone every like maybe 10, 15 minutes. But if I get in the zone, like I'll check, I still have that urge to check my phone maybe every 10, 15 minutes. But this time I would work, and then when I feel like I would normally have the urge to check my phone or just check something else and take a break, this time I would just think about it and be like, no, I'm okay. I can keep working. And then I would just go back to working again. And then when, 10 minutes later, when I feel distracted again, this time also again, I would just be like, okay, I'm okay. I can continue working. And so I just did. And so the last hour has flown by. It seems like I was just working the entire hour, which was great. So far, this is great. This is the short release, or the normal release, not the extended 5 milligram. So I think before I thought it would last maybe like 4 hours or so. What I'm not looking forward to, but also I'm kind of curious as to how the crash will feel. That's what people describe with the regular release, not the extended, is that they feel this crash around the 4-5 hour mark. So I'm kind of curious as to how that will feel. In terms of hunger, it's now 2:00. Oh my goodness. It's now 2:00. I can see what people say about not feeling hungry. What I will say is that I can notice my stomach does feel emptier, and I kind of very subtly feel that I'm hungry, and I know that I'm hungry, but also at the same time, I don't quite feel, I guess it's like that distraction thing earlier, is I can feel my stomach saying, okay, you're hungry, but I can also feel my mind saying, no, I'm okay. I can not eat for, I don't know, I can still not eat for a while. And so I think cognitively, I need to be like, okay, it's time to eat. Let's go eat. So with that, I'll go eat lunch now. And also my wife is probably hungry or hangry. I'm not sure how much work I'll be doing in the next hour or so, but we'll see. All right. Okay, hour 4 update. Back from lunch. Didn't do any work. Basically just made lunch, ate lunch, and took a little break. And I will say, let's see, some more observations. I do feel different. I do feel like something is, like my head is a little bit more tight, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I do feel different. It's very subtle though. It's not an overt thing, but like for example, if I'm doing something physical, then I don't notice as much. But if I sit down, then your head does feel a little different. And I think that's the effects of the Adderall. Other things that I notice, don't feel tired, which is good. I didn't have any coffee today. I guess this is a stimulant as well. in the past, if I didn't drink coffee for one day, then I get a very subtle, mild headache. And then it would, be fine the next day. I'd just feel tired, but I wouldn't have a headache in terms of like detoxing or not taking coffee. But with this, I don't feel tired at all. I feel awake. I feel alert. I played basketball last night. That's been a lot of fun. I used to play a lot in high school and college. Last night I played, and when I play now, in my age now, my main focus is I want to get better, but my main focus is cardio. So I'll just go all out on defense and offense because that's my main goal is just to get my heart rate up and get my body moving. Because at this age, before I've been playing for the last like 2-3 years, but before I played, I would get stiff, like just brushing your teeth, bending over the sink. Like my back would just get stiff if I hold that position for a while. So yeah, just exercise has been, especially basketball, has been really helpful for not feeling as stiff. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Yeah, I think this is also the effect of the medicine is I feel like I could lose my train of thought and then go back to it. But right now I went off on a tangent and I can't get back to it because I'm so focused. That's interesting. What was I talking about? Exercise. I was talking about exercise. Oh, this is what I was trying to say. I played basketball last night, and normally the day after I'm really tired. I feel physically tired. My head feels very tired, the back of the neck, and I just want to sleep. Right now I don't feel any of that, and I didn't feel any of that this morning either after taking the Adderall. So obviously it's a stimulant, and so that's probably what's keeping me awake. But I will say also, even after having been physically strenuous activities last night, I feel great. I feel alert, and I feel like I can do work the next day without any hesitation. So I'm curious now if this effect is even enhanced if I don't play basketball the night prior on like a normal day. So we'll see about that. But it's hour 4 right now, 4th hour after taking the pill. We'll see if I start to crash, if I start to feel kind of coming down, but I think right now may be the peak. So let's get some work done. See you later. All right, 5.5 hour update. It's been 5 hours and 36 minutes. After lunch, I kind of got a little bit tired. I wonder if it was the Adderall starting to fade, or if it was just tired from eating lunch and the blood flowing to my stomach. But I feel good. I started working again. I started working on some photo editing, and I'm waiting for my printer to start up and clean. I haven't printed in a while, so I need to clean the print heads. So I'm just kind of waiting for that. And I'm also low on ink, so I don't know if I can make any prints. The good news is I did get some work done. I got some tedious work done, and then I also got some photo editing in as well, and I'm trying to print, and I haven't printed in a while, so that's a good sign. But otherwise, after kind of feeling a little tired after lunch, I don't feel as tired anymore once I started working again. I wonder how long this is going to last, when it's going to start to feel like it's starting to fade. But I got to end work soon to go pick up my kids from school, and we'll give you another update. Okay, I wanted to give a quick update. It's 6 hours and 15 minutes after taking my first dose. As I was like packing up to leave, I put in my earphones and I started listening to piano music again. I've been listening to piano music because my daughter got a new piano, courtesy of grandmother. Anyway, I started playing as well, and so I started making a playlist of piano music that I like. One of them is the Married Life from the movie Up. I like the Jacobs piano version of it. I was listening to it. What sounded strange was like it seemed to be playing higher
faster, almost as if it was at like 1.5x speed. It seemed more upbeat, faster, higher pitched. It was the same music, same song that I was listening to last night, and it sounded different. It's odd how this dopamine seems to affect the way I hear music. It seems more happy, even though married life can kind of seem more sad and somber. Yeah, it seemed like what I was listening to was more happy. Also, the navigation on my screen, the text, I'm noticing like more highlights around text, like letters. Usually it's like a black letter on white background, but then I'm noticing there's around the black letter itself, there's a white highlight that's very subtle. And I never noticed that before. So even just visually, it seems noticing a few more things. So yeah, that was one odd thing that happened with music. Music sounded more happy. So that's a quick update.